Next tonight, President Trump trying to hold his base together amid growing tensions with the first American pope. The MAGA movement weighing in on that feud and Iran. NBC's Gabe Gutierrez is traveling with the president. Joins us live from tonight there at the event where the president just spoke at a Turning Point USA rally, the organization founded by the late Charlie Kirk. So, Gabe, what was the president's message tonight to his young MAGA base?
Hi there, Tom. Well, several thousand people attended here. The speech just wrapped up moments ago, and the president really trying to, as you said, hold that MAGA coalition together and strengthen the conservative movement, especially among young conservatives, heading into the midterm elections. Now, Tom, he also talked about the war in Iran, and he really tried to make the case for intervention here. We heard him speak about that in stronger terms than he had before. Certainly, many members of his MAGA movement, some have been skeptical of going to war in the first place, skeptical of foreign intervention, but the president seemed to take on that skepticism directly tonight. Listen to what he said.
Unlike past leaders, this administration does not apologize for American power. We are not ashamed of American might, and we do not hesitate to defend the American people, which is what we've been doing for the last 2 months, because Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. It's very simple. So do not listen to the craven and cowardly voices who tell you America needs to think small or to shrink from our duties or potential. Most people, they wanted to, this recent situation, they wanted to do it, but they said, oh, let's not get involved. Sometimes you have to get involved. You have no choice but to get involved.
The president adding that if the country wants to remain great, sometimes you have to get involved, Tom.
Yeah, and then, Gabe, you've been talking to younger conservatives throughout the day. What did they tell you about how they feel about this war with Iran and the president's feud with the Pope?
Well, certainly, look, this event was at a church, a mega church here in Phoenix. So certainly a lot of religious conservatives here. We spoke with several of them waiting in line outside the event. And look, they placed their trust in President Trump. But as I said, some of them were skeptical as the president went to war. I spoke with one man a little earlier today who, while he says he still supported the president, he's 29 years old. He's in that constituency that the Trump administration and the president himself realizes need to turn out in these midterm elections later on this year. I spoke to him about his skepticism with the war in Iran. Let's listen. And what most concerns you about the war dragging on?
Well, I mean, I don't want to see Americans die fighting in foreign lands. You know, I think that focusing on America is a priority that I would like to see happen more.
And regarding the escalating feud with Pope Leo, Tom, I did also speak with some of those conservatives in line. And look, many of them agreed with President Trump, and they felt that Pope Leo was attacking the president. Even though the Pope has been advocating for peace, they took it as an affront to President Trump and his policies. And some others told me that they felt each of the two leaders should stay in their same lanes. But no matter what President Trump has said about this, all of them still support him heading into these midterm elections. The question for this administration is, can they get enough of these voters to turn out during the midterms, and as one speaker earlier today put it, to keep the Democrats out of power, to keep them from running the House, because they see that as a direct threat to the president's agenda during his remaining time in office, Tom.
All right, Gabe Gutierrez for us. We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.